Welcome to the United Stand. I'm your host, Jay Daly. So, guys, what a night. I have got so much notes here on my notebook. I literally do not know where to start. So, I'm going to preface this with the fact that I hate being right. Jack, my friend, about 6 weeks ago, I said, I'm quoting myself because I even tweeted it, Dean Henderson's mouth is writing checks his body can't cash. Now, I don't care if you've got Paolo Bandini, Cannavaro, Paul McGrath, Rio Ferdinand, and Vidic, and Jaap Stam in a back six in front of you. If you commit that amount of amateur mistakes, you don't deserve to get paid this week. I am absolutely appalled with his performance tonight. I'm holding him accountable for 2 of those goals. And we're going to dissect every goal ad nauseum, Jack. And I'll be delighted to hear your viewpoints. Okay? And don't get me wrong, this is not an attack on Jack. But you have been the only one that's been espousing the virtues of Dean Henderson. I also want to say a massive thank you to BBC, BT, and Sky Sports for propagating this myth for about 4 months that Dean Henderson was apparently the heir apparent and he was ready to take over the number 1 jersey at Manchester United. Okay, so I'm going to start off with that. Jack, 4-2 at home. We started this season with a whimper, losing 3 out of 6. We've now lost 2 in a row. Also got beaten by Roma. Are we in danger of finishing the season with the whimper that we started it with also?
Jay, first of all, I'm just genuinely, I think a lot of us, I'm genuinely gutted. Like after that game, I know in terms of the table for us, it didn't really mean anything, but it being Liverpool.
Whoa, Liverpool.
No, exactly. That's what I mean. That's
at home. I mean, sounds like Simon. Sorry.
I mean, in terms of the table, It didn't mean anything in terms of position. But I'm just gutted. First of all, I'm absolutely gutted. Like, I still feel sick after that. And I knew everyone was going to jump on me. The moment Henderson spilt that, I knew I was going to get Alex tweet me. I knew I was going to get, like, KG's on set somewhere. So I'm thinking he's not going to tweet me or whatever. Can I just say, first of all, Jay, we are going to analyse every single goal. But for this particular game, Henderson has made a glaring error. Yes, I think the third goal, wasn't it, where he spilt it for Firmino. But I am just going to say, for people to jump on the Henderson bandwagon after that utter shocking build-up defending before with Fred and Shaw, the way that goal came about was through Fred and Shaw mix-up, Shaw playing the ball out, and then the ball, don't get me wrong, Henderson has got to claim that. But, Jay, we lost the ball so much today, especially after the 30-minute mark, when Liverpool, got them couple of goals after, we were losing the ball in poor areas all over the pitch. Just to throw that on the goalkeeper is, I think, a little bit. I know Alex is loving this, loving every single moment, and everyone who backs the De Gea thing. I do not hate David De Gea. I do not hate David De Gea in any way. And I will hold my hands up and say that it probably is too premature to call Dean Henderson Manchester United's number 1. But I'm not going to back down on my point that I think Dean Henderson still deserves a chance and he deserves to play in the last 2 games of the season. Because you look at that 90-minute performance, and I'm going to say we played well for 30 minutes. But I would say that the hour after, the following hour, we were losing the ball all over the pitch, playing into Liverpool's hand. Can we just look at the Jota chance, the Trent chance after the third goal? Liverpool could have been 5-6 goals up, Jay. They could have been 5-6 goals up. It reminded me of Tottenham a lot. It reminded me of Tottenham back in October when we lost 6-1. It was, and you know what? Harry Maguire, how much do we miss Harry Maguire? How much? And I know Alex is going to bring up that point, and I've seen it on social media already. I do not want all of this fan forum to be about my, views on Dean Henderson, because I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair on this particular game. He made a mistake for the third goal, but the performance from some of them players out there today, bearing in mind it was Liverpool, as you said, Jay, at the start, big game for all of us, unacceptable. And I'm gutted. I'm genuinely gutted.
Listen, Jack, don't get me wrong. I'm always very fair in my analysis. And this is not going to be a personal attack on you in any way, shape, or form. And I guarantee you that it's not going to be, okay? But, I would hold Henderson responsible for the first goal. if you're coming out of your box, the onus on the goalkeeper to catch the goddamn ball or punch it away from danger. So I'm putting the first goal on him. Personally, I am, and come back at me 100% with your convictions.
Okay.
The second goal, I think Pogba was a bit lackluster and lazy. I use the word lazy. He lost his man entirely. And Fabinho, to the best of my knowledge, hadn't scored in over 10 games. I may be wrong on that stat, but it was at least 10, 11 games he hadn't scored. So Pogba, for me, on that, like Pogba's a big guy. You know, he's 6'4", give or take. He's like 1.90 m. It's a big chap. So I know people will defend him and say it's not his game. I'm sorry. If you're standing on the line and a free kick comes in, you go with the runner. Be you 5'9" or 6'9". He lost him. He lost his runner. Then the third goal, Jack, I agree. It was a comedy of errors between Luke Shaw running the ball at the back, Fred trying to do a flick. He doesn't have a flick in his locker. My 7-year-old son could perform a better flick than Fred. That was preposterous. But when the shot went in, Henderson should have done better with that shot. Okay? For me, that shot was savable, and any decent goalkeeper would have saved that. And the fourth goal, right? Matic loses the ball, agreed. What the hell is McTominay doing? McTominay is lauded as having this big engine, having tenacity. For me, he's jogging after Mo Salah like he's playing in a fucking pub league. Henderson is rooted to his line. At the bare minimum, come out and clean out the centre forward. Take the yellow card. Do what it takes. He's on his line like a goddamn statue. He doesn't even try to narrow the angle. Like I never played in goal. I played as the left back. But by Jesus Christ, if your goalkeeper is a statue on the line, that's preposterous as well. I blame him for that goal as well. I do. So now, Alex, I'm going to come to you.
Big, but Salah's straight.
He's a statue. He's a statue on the line. Salah is ruining a goal. As I said, McTominay is jogging back like it's a pub league. Okay, the fourth goal was a comedy of errors also. I give him that. But at least come out to the attacker and narrow the goddamn angle. If you get chipped, fair enough. At least you did your job. So playing in front of, Sheffield United fans, for the first section of last season, playing this season in front of nobody. Today was, and I might be going to go back to the Milan game where I also thought he was dog shit as well. But this was your first proper test today. And you failed, mate. You failed. So I don't agree with you. He should play the next 2 games. Not a goddamn chance. If he never plays for the club again, I'm fine with that. The world-class keeper is David De Gea. You put him back and you might actually win the Europa League. And I am ranting here, and I have gone to full Raikkonen mode because I'm goddamn angry. Alex, what say you?
With regards to Henderson, I think I've said on the show before, I don't think he's United quality. I think if he was like at an Everton or a Villa or something, you'd be like, yeah, okay, fair enough. With De Gea, with me, why I would choose De Gea over him is because De Gea, with me, has a lot more credit in the bank because he has been such a class player for us over such a long period of time. But I do have massive question marks about him still. So that's why I've said before in the past about that if we were to be moving forward and wanting to challenge for the big honours, I think we just need a whole new keeper in general, just because that's under the premise that De Gea couldn't get back to his best. But I feel like we've spoken about it in the past that the big worry now is going into next season. We're fine at the moment if Henderson keeps on putting these poor performances in. Like Jack, you can say about today whether you think it's his fault or not. This isn't the first bad performance he's had in a small sample size.
Yeah, but it's so easy to jump on that. It's reactionary from all the De Gea. Like it's a reactionary.
But like I said,
response.
I'm not even on like the De Gea bandwagon. I'm just on that. I don't think either of them are at the standard, But at the moment, if Henderson keeps putting in bad performances, we have De Gea to fall back on. Next season, like we're linked with having like Tom Heaton as the backup. That if De Gea leaves, that's who we're like linked with. Or I've completely forgot the one that Sam Johnston, like players like that. So if Henderson plays like this, and then we lose De Gea, we have absolutely no one to fall back on. So we're in massive trouble next season, especially if we don't sign a centre back, if we don't sign a centre defensive midfielder. So it is really worrying. But I think, like, just watching that, and it isn't obviously based off of just this game, but I tweeted out before. We keep going on about one defensive midfielder and all this. If Ollie wants to play Pogba on the left wing, which I'm completely fine with because Pogba's been brilliant there, but if he doesn't see him as a midfielder, then I think we need to just buy two new midfielders if we want to go up a level, because just neither of them can be playing week in, week out. It's just, we're talking about the same things every single fan forum with their passing and the mistakes they're making. And McTominay, you were talking about McTominay, Jay, with that running for the fourth goal. He's lucky to have even been on the pitch because he very easily could have been sent off. And this has been an issue with both of them because the same has happened with Fred multiple times this season with his lack of discipline. Yeah,
to your point about if De Gea goes and Henderson becomes number one, which Solskjaer wants, and for me, that shows the frailty in Solskjaer for me. And if our backup is then Sam Johnson, I'm sorry, but that's like sabotage. There's super chats here. I'm going to read them. And then, Kevin, I'm going to go to you next because I know you're the man that invented the Scott McTominay song. And I was very, very harsh on McTominay tonight. I take Alex's point. How the hell did he stay in the pitch? So I'll let you think about that one while I read the super chats. From Bradley Coulette. Is it a coincidence that all his favourites are either English or Scottish? 3 players that, in my opinion, shouldn't have started on form. Good point. Another one here from Manchild. We need 2 new centre mids. One really isn't going to cut it seriously. So CB looks more relaxed than Lindelof, who was panicked all game. All right.
Last few games as well.
Yeah, from Ad416. Can't believe United just gifted City the title. I wouldn't go as far as say gifted. That title was well won. So, okay. And Champions League football in the same week, I'm disgusted. Fair enough. And I read that. And the guys, there's loads here. My apologies. So I'm going to get through them. Abid B. For God's sake, Henderson wasn't the worst player today. Okay. It's crap at McTominay. Watching him play week after week has me convinced he's Sir Alex Ferguson's love child. Interesting. Okay. And there's a few more here. From AJ, I'm not even going to try and make a mess of your surname because I won't get it right. Henderson, you muppet. Not even in the same league as De Gea. And we are talking about the third. What's the fourth? An amateur stands in his line and then fails on his arse when the angle is wide open. Yeah, that's what we were saying. What else? I think we're up to date now. We are. So, Kevin, your take on tonight, including your song for Scott McTominay. I don't think you're going to be singing that many more times this season, my friend.
It certainly didn't get sung around the Ashford house tonight, I'll tell you that anyway. I had to send my son off to bed early. There was some savage swear words going on. I said, listen, you've got school in the morning. Just take off to bed, mate. This is going downhill. But listen, I cannot defend anything. I'm listening to the Dean Henderson criticism. I mean, let's face it, he's not even England's number one keeper. What is he? Third? Third in line, is it?
Yeah.
Third in line. Listen, it's not a personal attack on Jack. I know I've made jokes in the past or whatever.
It's fine.
We're trying to make some light of this. I feel for De Gea. The camera cuts to him and he must be sat there thinking, what, am I doing here? It's kind of the ultimate disrespect to David De Gea. But as a team performance, I'm embarrassed, really embarrassed. Am I shocked? No, we knew we had these, 3 games in 4 days coming up. There's been a lot written about it. The fact that we played the Man United B team against Leicester. So you would think that this team would be freshen up for it today. For me, looking at it, it's a team that's sealed top 4, looking forward to a Europa League final. But I think there's a massive danger in underestimating the fact that we've got that job done. I do not like that. We've got a massive, massive game coming up. This could be the first trophy under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What I want to see is obviously progression, but I want to see confidence. And that will have knocked Manchester United this. We're talking defeat to Roma. Yes, we got the job done in the first leg. Defeat to Leicester. Now defeat to Liverpool. I never, ever want to lose to Liverpool, regardless of whether it's a friendly, a community shield, charity shield, whatever you call it. I don't want to lose to them. I never do. And it hurt this evening, because Liverpool wanted it more than us, and they got the result they deserved. I can't have any complaints on that side of it, but it's annoying to see the way that Manchester United went about it today. And I must say, Jay, the busted sofa, Harry Maguire, honestly, frailties have been shown there today. And I tell you what, it's opened my eyes, because I look, Eric Bailly, we've said he's a bit reckless, he does certain things, but you do need Harry Maguire in there with one of them, because I think it has shown that he does. We have been on here before and said about his leadership skills and that, but I do think we very, very much missed Harry Maguire at the heart of defence today. He does bring something to that team, whether it's a calmness or whatever. And maybe we underappreciate Harry Maguire and what he does. But the usual suspects, Lindelof today, Fred, don't even get me started, because I'll say something that will probably get me thrown out the group chat. McTominay, I am certainly not going to defend him. I'm certainly not going to be one of them that sticks by, and just because I penned a song about him, listen, that's all out the window. All I wanted to see today was fight, desire, and Manchester United go out and try, and do a job on Liverpool. The end of the day, they wanted it more than us. United seem to have down tools. It's like, oh, we'll get through these couple of games and we've got this cup final. I don't like that mentality. I want to go in confident, winning games coming into this. So for me today, no positivity. I don't know what angle to turn at. There's a lot of players that I could really, really slag off, and I'm going to refrain and hold back and let somebody else have their say.
Flex, for me, the game at 2 tipping points, I felt at 1-0, we literally set back and invited Liverpool on. We couldn't string 3 passes together. So that was tipping point number 1. Tipping point number 2, we are losing 3-2. And then our manager, who some fans have said is still learning on the job, Fred had to come off. I agree. And Pogba definitely had to go into pivot. But surely you'll also take off McTominay and bring on Donny van de Beek. Surely this game, you can see the passage of play. We're not stringing passes together. We were hoping all the time for a moment of brilliance from any one of the front 3. But against a very, I would argue, average Liverpool defence that had been average all season. So surely you're going to bring on a Donny van de Beek to literally just put his foot in the ball, playing beside Pogba, and get some passing movement together and start getting some traditional play. Solskjaer just didn't do it. He then, late in the game, takes off Eric Bailly. Okay, probably injured again, let's be fair, and brings on Matic, when surely your centre-back is Axis Wansibi, bring him on. So why is McTominay going to centre-back? So I don't know what you think about that, but that's on the manager, and we can blame the players all we want. But the manager made those calls, for me, at two critical points of the game.
Very true. I don't disagree with anything you said. I'm just going to get the super chats out here. Vero says we can't let David leave because we definitely needed a leader in the back 4 today. Tom Kent says, guys, I know we can do better than this. Felt like a team that was way too comfortable. What do you guys think? P.S. I support the movement. #Glazers out. Joe Daniel says, Henderson hate is so reactionary. Our midfield pivot is absolutely terrible. We could clone and have 4 of them on the pitch and would still be crap. Need a CDM so badly, more than any other position. Vignesh Ram says, this was a spineless performance. I'm scared going into the new season with Henderson. Our defending was horrendous. Guys, we need a CDM and a centre-back. We can't start McShit next season. That very harsh there. David needs to come back. A lot of people saying get David Henderson, David De Gea back in. Anthony Tracy says, so many questions. What to do at goalkeeper, where to play Pogba, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, right or buy a centre-back. Can McFred lead the title side? Pogba stay. Ollie question mark. Anthony just with loads of questions in his super chat. Alex Marmon says, tonight proved that De Gea is still number 1. We miss Maguire. I do agree with that. We need him back for the Europa League final, and McFred are terrible, which I do agree with. And we need a centre-back and a new CDM, which I also agree with. And another super chat here from Jude Pass says, enough with people that say David De Gea is getting old. Van der Sar was 38 when he won the Champions League. It's like people don't consider the amount of running an outfield player does versus a keeper. David De Gea has 6 to 8 top quality years left. A lot of love for De Gea coming in today, guys. And another super chat here from Stefan. It says, terrible performance. For all the hate on Ollie, you don't know what you're chatting about. If we listen to yous, we'd end up like Arsenal. Basically saying, stick with Ollie. This is not that bad. And the way I saw it, I'm just disappointed, man. I'm just so disappointed. I don't know. Obviously, I've come in late, guys, so I don't know who said what and stuff. But I just saw one team that knew they really had to win this game, and another team that just knew they had a Europa League final in a couple of weeks and were like, you know what, we got top 4, second, third, don't really matter. Chelsea and Leicester play each other next. Go and turn up against Wolves, nick a draw, will be all right. It just felt like that. And you know what? And there's no excuses as well, because yes, the fixture list has been unkind to us, but it hasn't really been unkind to this set of players that played, because their routine hasn't really changed. They've gone from the Sunday to the Thursday, just like normal. They didn't play on Tuesday. So really, it's not really that deep for them. And even Mason comes in when he's been playing in all them games, comes straight in and has an impact. So I'm not buying that. And, I know you guys always ask me about Ricky's fan cam. I will say no comment again. But
about Mason?
No, not
okay.
No,
well, then it'll be
no comment.
I was going to say Mason barely played. How's he targeting him for that?
No comment. But I'm not putting it on individuals. What I want to say is that, that team performance, you cannot legislate for individual errors of that magnitude against a team like Liverpool, who are that hungry. Fred, shocking. McTominay, shocking. Pogba just before half-time, shocking. Luke Shaw trying to run out from the back, shocking. Henderson coming out and not punching it properly, shocking. Like, the list goes on with the amount of errors. Matic, to be fair, we're trying to chase the game, so we're pushing. But, again, loses the ball and then they go and score and make it 4. So, even when we just come out and then when Jota hit the post, then Fred gave away a bad pass. Then, again... And then they got the ball through to Jota after a couple of passes. He's clean through on goal. Salah had another one. And it's just disappointing, because I properly wanted to beat them. Like, I know it's not a big in our contest. Like Kev was saying, like, it's Liverpool at home, man. Like, come on, like, show a bit. And we just didn't. There's too many of the same themes just get happening. And the Maguire thing, someone said to me early on, even when it was still 1-0, I tweeted, still evident how much we miss Maguire, because we weren't comfortable. As soon as we scored, crosses. They were getting in, crosses were getting in, and we weren't. Lindelof in the left centre-back position didn't look comfortable. And I said it, and then one guy was like, how? We look fine. I'm like, what? And then by half-time, you could clearly see we got peppered and it was already 2-1. Then we come straight back out and concede, and people try and tell me that, we're defending fine. And obviously the McFred situation is one that's always there. All this talk about Sancho is great, but this is what I said literally before the game when Mark was asking me about the Sancho thing. If we do not sort that supply line and that engine room out properly, don't matter who's up front. Doesn't matter, because we'll find ourselves in positions like this where we're either on the back foot or we don't have the ball, or we have the ball and can't supply them properly. So, I don't know, man. I'm massively disappointed. I don't want to see us peter out. Like, do you know what I mean? Just go through the motions and go into the final with bad form. Because really, these players can't play against Fulham. It's only 3 days before the final, so they have to play against Wolves. So, and they've got, we don't have a game on the weekend, which is good. So they've got till Tuesday. So they should rest up, play a strong team again against Wolves, and say, this is your last game, guys, before this final. get yourselves right, because none of you are playing against Fulham. I ain't risking that.
And
But you know what I mean?
And they should want to impress for the final.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
The shocking thing for me is, right, we're not some mid-table club, someone that you look at and you think, well, they can't get relegated, they're safe this season. You hear this, oh, they're on the plane already and all that. They're on the beach, sombrero on and all that. And you're like, yeah, they've clocked off. It shouldn't be that way. Every single one of them players should be fighting for a place in the Europa League final. We have got that to look forward to.
Do you not think it's like set in stone that basically the team that started today, apart from De Gea for Henderson, just will be the team that starts no matter? Mason's in the best form statistically in the entire Premier League, and he still isn't going to get.
I think you know what? I know me and you said this, Alex, that it will be Rashford. It will be Rashford.
I really think
I don't know. I'm starting to maybe think Ollie might come through with us on that one.
Well, I obviously hope it's Greenwood, but I really
actually but he ain't. There's no way he's going to put Rashford on the bench in a final.
Yeah, like
he's just not. He's just not.
Dressing room morale and stuff. If you drop Rashford, I feel like that would cause.
Someone sent me a voice note during the game. Yeah, ex-player. I won't say who it is, but he said, "Bro, listen. I know it's not the popular opinion, and no one really wants to go down this route. Rashford's done amazing things." Like for kids and everything off the pitch, superb. But his on-field performances have been really, really bad. And he even went as far as saying, now I don't know how extra you guys think this is, I'm just sort of saying, he even said, like, the way he is in the form-wise, he shouldn't even really be going to the Euros. That's what he said.
To be honest, he shouldn't be in the starting. If he starts, because the thing is, Gareth Southgate will start him, and he doesn't.
Only because he hates Grealish, though.
Doesn't deserve to start. Yeah, 100%. No, I totally agree with that. But I think the bigger thing is Matic playing the final. Fred playing the final. I think Matic should play. But Kev said this a lot. When you see Matic on the team sheet, it kind of gives you that. But the passing range we spoke about it on Tuesday night. It's just so frustrating tonight, really.
Do you not think, from Ollie's perspective, though, and I admit Rashford, like I am a big fan of Rashford and his potential, but he has been playing injured. But from Ollie's perspective, he's not going to say, okay, yeah, he has been playing badly, but then he got that assist for Cavani the other day. He got the goal today. That we were saying this at the start. I remember saying this on like the fan forum, like really early in the season. We were like, yeah, his performances hasn't been good, but he still pops up with a moment, as we say, like moments player, and still was scoring like every game. That was like his 21st goal of the season, all from open play.
And that's what's weird. And that's what's weird about what he's doing right now, isn't it? Like,
because if you look at,
he is not playing well.
He's only three goals. He's only 3 goals off his best scoring season for United.
And that best scoring season had a load of penalties.
Goals.
This is all open play. So open play is his best.
When you put it like that, it's mad.
It's mad.
Decision making with Rashford. If he can just get that final, I always compare it back to Cristiano Ronaldo when he was at Manchester United. Yeah. Too many step overs, this, that, and it was like, there was a player in him, and if he can just get that final thought process of playing the right ball, playing it here and there, it'll just make him look miles better. But at the minute, for some reason, whether he's carrying an injury or whatever, final thought process is all wrong.
It is. There's loads of super chats here, and I'm going to come to Jay. Yasser said, question for the panel. Do you guys feel comfortable with Hendo as our number 1 going forward? Hold that thought, guys. I'm sure you've got some thoughts on that. Matt Menko says, respect to Jay and everyone. I honestly can never see Henderson as my number 1. That answers that. So frustrated from this passing, from the back bullshit, shocking performance. Robin says, trade Fred for Kessie and Ruben Neves in for Matic. McTominay is as teacher's pet, so will stay. We need midfielders who can pass and control midfield. We can't lose Sancho as well. And Mr. Glenn Johnson says, on paper, we are the 4th best squad in the league, just barely above Leicester. If Leicester keep recruiting well, they can surpass us next season. Will that, with what we have, I think Ollie should have loads of praise. There's loads. Mario says, even if we're to get a centre-back, CDM or right winger, and Ollie still isn't rotating, we have a serious issue in the managerial position. There's no sugarcoating it. Vincent McDonald says, we don't have a problem scoring goals. It's conceding them. If we get a quality CDM and a centre-back, we will be a far better side. Mohammed Hassan says, why bring Matic on for Bailly? Tuanzebe was probably the only positive from the last game. We are crashing at the end of the season again, rotted. Daniel McGrath says Keano spitting the truth that United won't win anything with a midfield of McFred. They may have woke up the club, and we need a centre back in CDM. Love the fan forum. Clint Sampson says, I'm gutted, guys, for once we started bright and never put our foot on their throats. The spine as a whole tonight was shocking. Much love, everyone. And Johnny says, next keeper needs to be comfortable with the ball at his feet. How are we going to improve with Henderson, who's worse than informed David De Gea at everything? Wow, loads of slander coming in for Dean Henderson today. Jack's hating this. And
with the reactionary thing, though, people are saying, oh, yeah, you guys are being reactionary. We've all said, apart from Jack, that De Gea's been keeping the whole time.
Is true.
It's not even remotely reactionary.
That is true. Schrader says, Ollie would rather lose the Europa League with McFred than win it with Pogba and Matic. Dean is not ready. Imagine that mistake with a full Old Trafford next season. Devil Wears Red says, we are playing individuals, not a system. Ollie is a man manager. Bringing in a world-class coach for him should also be a priority this summer. So all the Ollie out stuff kind of coming in. And Addy Chris says, question to Jack, no disrespect, but why Dean? He made errors on loan at Sheffield United as well. He made errors earlier in the season. If you think David De Gea is not up to the mark, why talk about Oblak? Why not talk about an Oblak exchange? Why Dean, man? Give him an answer there, Jack. Quickly, before we go to Jay?
Well, I've literally just said at the start, Flex, before you came on, I will hold my hands up and say I think it is premature to put him as Manchester United's number one when De Gea has been playing the way he has. But I think how many super chats have we had about positions we need to strengthen him more? Centre-back CDM. You can't just jump on Dean Henderson for tonight. I'm talking about tonight's game now. Tonight's performance. Me and Jay have had this discussion before you came on, Flex, as well, like about the goals. But I just think it is... the third goal was massively his fault, but I'm not saying De Gea's not world class. He is. But I totally agree with Alex. If De Gea was to leave and Henderson was to go number one, I'd be more concerned for who our number two is going to be than Henderson stepping up and being number one, because if he performs badly, who have we got to fall back on? That's the worry, Flex. And there's other positions. It's not the biggest worry for all us United fans is not about Dean Henderson being number one. It's the fact we need to keep Dean Henderson and David De Gea. But we need, if De Gea leaves, then I am worried. And people will probably tweet me and all that and laugh and say, oh, you wanted De Gea out all along. I never said that. I never said I wanted to, but I'm not going to back down on my point. I don't think even tonight's performance, as Kev said, it's a team performance in general. It's not all on the goalkeeper. So
the thing is, Jack, David De Gea is not going to stick around and play second fiddle to Dean Henderson.
I totally agree. And De Gea is still young. De Gea is 30?
Exactly. It's prime for a keeper.
Yeah, exactly. When you talk about Van der Sar winning the Champions League at 38.
Jack, do you not think what I said in my point about he's made a lot of mistakes in a small sample size of games, like Jay was saying about the AC Milan game, that people say whether it is, but that one I think that he gave away to make the equaliser was bad. The Burnley game, which with the Chris Wood thing, I know it got disallowed, but that was a massive clanger as well.
My biggest worry, Alex, about all of it is what we have said, and I think we should always back the goalkeeper, whatever. But it's a full Old Trafford next season if he makes an error like that, and all the fan base are going to jump on that. And
that's going to be even worse, though.
Yeah, but that's going to kill his confidence. That's going to kill his confidence as a goalkeeper. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not De Gea out, all that. But if De Gea leaves, then we've got a big problem. Because if you get Dean Henderson, it's De Gea leaving.
Jay, just quickly, Duncan says, honestly think both keepers have major flaws. Ideally, sell Hendo to Spurs and David De Gea part exchange for Oblak, but we have bigger priorities in defence and midfield. Exactly. Thomas says, guys, I agree 100% what you said, but don't go too deep on Hendo. Remember David De Gea mistakes at the start, basically, of his career, only against Liverpool in a cup game against Crouch. And Adetola says, and we want to let De Gea go for Henderson, ? Well, it hurts to lose to Liverpool, but hey, the season's over anyways. And Daniel McGrath says, Jack, having a bad few weeks. Don't worry, mate. University is heavy this time of the year. Can we check if Jack is related to Henderson? # Jack Lives Matter. Jay, you've been taking in, all of that stuff there. Is there any points that you want to come in on there?
Yeah, there's so much. I just want to go back to the large amount of super chats. They're probably the best super chats I've heard in this show in all my time on it. They were analytical, they were well thought out, and pretty much they're saying what we've been saying for the last couple of months. So big up to everybody putting a super chat. And Jack, look, you have your convictions and stand by them. Don't back down from anybody. Stand by your convictions. But Jack, would you agree then that Henderson should play the next 2 games? Should Ole drop him for the next 2 games, in your opinion?
Well, my biggest worry, Jay, if Henderson plays over De Gea for the final, genuinely, because I think that's the game now. I think Fulham and Wolves, Henderson should play. It's the big thing for me. It's the Europa League final. I've seen reports that Henderson
Alex
might even come in over.
They're the bigger games.
It's that's my biggest thing. But I genuinely think Henderson, there's no real harm in putting him in against Fulham and Wolves, and De Gea has to play the final, and then we see in the summer, because I think there's going to be a lot up in the air about, as Kev said, De Gea's not going to want to be second fiddle. He's not going to want to play second fiddle. But he plays the next 2 games, Jay. Full stop. Period.
Okay. That's fair. Look, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. Last night, Flex and I went into great detail on the David De Gea, the Henderson issue. We probably spent a good 20 minutes on it. And what we both agreed was this ideal that De Gea wants to go back to Spain, but yet he's been linked to Italy, which makes no rational sense. No team in Spain can afford the transfer fee and his wages. So where the hell is De Gea going to go? And to send him on loan and pay a large portion of his wages a la Alexis Sanchez to Inter Milan a couple of years back, that just sparks of absolutely amateur financial management. That's what Flex and I were discussing last night. And I just do not understand why a club would do something of that nature. What I want to go back to is we've been reading super chats and comments for the last 6 months, and it seems to be a collective idea that our manager has been learning on the job since he took over. Our coaches are learning on the job, and that was shown tonight with the substitutions. And also, do we need a goalkeeper also learning on the job? Like, what are we now? Are we working experienced FC? Is that what we've become? Seriously, guys. I'm putting it out there. Has everybody in our club to be learning on the job? But
apprenticeships, mate.
Apprenticeship FC. And then a mate of mine sent me a brilliant WhatsApp, and I promised him to read it out. His name is Mike Edwards, right? And we've been discussing McFred ad nauseum for weeks. And I think this summed it very well. He says Fred and McT would fall out of a bucket of tits sucking their thumbs.
I love that saying.
So I actually hadn't heard that saying before, and I promised Mike Edwards I would read it out, and it's absolute gold. So guys, tonight, Pogba, the last couple of weeks, I have been giving Pogba his flowers. But tonight, for me, guys, he looked lackluster tonight. Even when he went into pivot, and we've all agreed his best spot is wide left. But tonight, guys, for me, he looked lackluster. And Solskjaer himself has said on numerous occasions that he doesn't believe Pogba has the energy and tenacity to play in the pivot. But yet in the second half, that's exactly what he did. And again, that's on our manager. So I know we're going to blame the players for the litany of errors, for the... I have it here. I've said third goal, comedy of errors. I've said second goal, Pogba, WTF. But we can blame the players all we want. But the tactical
WTF.
Yeah, literally.
Bro, I'm just going to watch it back to see what's happened. What the fuck?
Yeah, but the point I'm making is, and we've said it many times in the show, the in-game tactical management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for me, is questionable because he's still learning on a job. And is that what we aspire to as a club that hasn't won a title since 2013 and hasn't won Champions League since 2008? Is that what we aspire to be? A team, a club that gives a manager work experience and a coaching staff work experience and putting it out there. Is that enough for you guys?
Well, I'll say one thing on that, Jay, right? We're talking about players learning on the job or whatever, which you would say that they need experience. So you're looking at this team now, right? Mason Greenwood, quite raw, doing really well. Rashford, there's question marks on the fan base. You know, can he do it and that? Let's take it right back, yeah? The class of 92. That famous day at Villa Park, right? Manchester United get dicked on the opening day of the season, yeah? And the famous saying by Alan Hansen, you'll never win anything with kids. I'm just going to bring it back to them, not for 1 minute comparing the players that we have at the minute, but I would argue the fact that Manchester United has been built, the Busby Babes, the Fergie fledglings, you know, bringing youth through and giving youth an opportunity. So at the same time, you could argue the point, well, when do these players get the chance? You know, against Leicester the other night, oh, we're under strength. What, you know what? But a lot of us have been saying we'd like to see Ahmad in the team. You know, Brandon Williams gets in there, and it is refreshing to see, right, results have not gone for us, but traditionally, Manchester United has been built on this, and any manager that's come in has had to get to grips very quickly with the tradition and what Manchester United's about. It's not going out and just, you know, Guardiola style, bang, 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 you know, and I know loads of City fans that say they would love to have more, well, Mancunians in their team. They look at United quite enviously. Now, I know we're not competing with them like that, but you can only really name Phil Foden, and don't get me wrong, he's an exceptional talent that's come through. But apart from that, this famous, you know, Etihad campus, the training facilities,
not
supposed to be the best in the world.
Sancho's from City's academy as well, and they didn't play him, and then look what happened there.
Yeah, but he was at what even before that? Sancho was. So like he, you know what I mean? They even got him from somewhere else before then.
Yeah.
So that thoroughbred coming through the academy. But yeah, go on, Joe.
Kevin, I take your point 100%, and I am all for the Manchester United way and developing youth. And on the show on Tuesday, I said that we had a front three with the average age of 19. And for me, those three up top were our three best players. So yes, I am completely for developing the youth. But my point was about Solskjaer's in-game management. He has a world-class goalkeeper. He has decided to play a 24-year-old goalkeeper that isn't fit to wear De Gea's gloves. He's also decided to persist with two busted sofas, I'm going to say it again, in midfield, when he has 40 million euros worth of Dutch international on the bench. He has an experienced Matic. Now, look, we all agree against Leicester, the last 20 minutes, Matic ran out of legs, but he also had Matter in front of him as well, so there was mitigating factors. So my point is not about the youth. My point is about Solskjaer's in-game management. And tonight, at 1-0, Fred McTominay couldn't pass water. We needed somebody in that midfield that could string a few passes together and ultimately pass through the lines of a very poor Liverpool back four that had been poor all season. And at 3-2, again, in-game management. So my point was about in-game management, not so much the playing of the youth. And yeah, I have been hard on Dean Henderson, and in my opinion, I have every right to be.
It is a strange one, because I just feel like Dean Henderson at times is slipping into the trap of making sure everyone knows he's there.
I genuinely think he thinks he's better than De Gea, like in his own mind.
No, he does. He said that. He does.
100%.
He does. 100%. He does. And in one element, I admire that in him, because as a goalkeeper, if you really do want to make it at the highest level, especially at Man United, you can't have the mentality that, I just know the guy ahead of me is so good, man. Like, how am I going to do it? Like, you have to big up your chest and say, yo, I'm better than you. I'm coming. I'm not going on loan. I'm staying here. Like, you do need that. But what's happening is that he actually has the confidence of Ollie already. And he has the confidence of a lot of people in the fan base, which is good. He's come through the ranks, and that's fine. But I feel like he still feels he needs to prove that. Like, you know, let everybody know I'm coming for crosses, or I'm commanding, or I'm this and I'm that. Like I said, the best attributes of being a Man United goalkeeper is doing nothing for long periods. And then when you're called upon, bang, big save. Do you know what I mean?
Flex. Dean Henderson has had kind of a clean kind of run as he's come into this team, because we all know, right, if you're in net at the Stretford end, and this is nothing against Manchester United fans, but if you drop a clanger against Liverpool, you will hear very, very vocally behind you people say, you know, what the fuck? And when that pressure, that is a different kind of pressure.
Different.
That totally knocks you confident.
I'm worried, Kev, that could just completely kill his, not just his Manchester United career, but as a player, that could really have like serious ramifications on the rest
of
his...
I don't
know.
Then
you could say,
it's a learning curve. He just has to experience it. Like every keeper's going to make a mistake. Like every young player coming. This is what we're talking about earning his stripes and why he's not better than De Gea yet. Because he hasn't been through these situations. We don't know how he's going to react to them. I think he's got a strong head on his shoulders. I think he's got broad shoulders. And I think he believes in himself. And you know what? I think he is going to go on to be a really good keeper. I just think we need to be really careful that we don't, well, we clearly are going to do it, but we don't propel him into it too quickly without the backup of a world-class keeper there to step in if it goes wrong. Because then we're left with maybe Tom Heaton to come in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We don't feed De Gea out the football club. No, 100%.
But they can't both stay.
You have to admire Dean Henderson's confidence, right? To be at Sheffield United, where you could go, just have another season there, mate. But he said, no, I'm going to come back and challenge David De Gea. Do I think he's better than De Gea? No. But do you know what? Fair play. I respect him for the fact that he's come back and thought, well, I want that number 1 jersey. So you can't argue with that.
There's confidence. And then I kind of look at it on like, yeah, okay, to play at elite level, you have to think you're so good and stuff. But I always thought of it with him is, do you remember when Zaha, like a few years back, was saying that in his opinion, the only 2 players better than him in the world are Messi and Ronaldo? I kind of get that, like with Henderson. It's like, yeah, you can think you're good, but how can you look at De Gea and look at both your careers and how you've played and think that you're anywhere close to
But that's weird. But you know what? That's weird as a professional because, I mean, Jay, you've performed at really high levels in sport and bodybuilding and stuff like that. And you know what, elite mentalities and stuff like that. But, another player said that to me when I was with Mikel Antonio. He was saying, like, people laugh at me, but I tell myself to keep myself going that I'm better than Ronaldo. Like I swear to you, and he says
it's
it on
a motivational thing, isn't it?
100%. He's like, I don't. He played at Tooting and Mitcham. Like he come from non-league. Like if you don't tell yourself these things, you don't manifest it, and you can't become that.
But then Henderson tells everyone else it as well, so that's completely different.
Yeah, true. It is funny. Let me just get these super chats out here because there's loads. Fervent says, my worry with Henderson is that the confidence has turned to arrogance, and that is a dangerous thing. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's arrogance. I just think it's. I think it's naivety. I think he's naive because he hasn't experienced the full throttle yet. I don't think it's arrogance. But he does have every keeper's got arrogance. You need to have it to be one. But I just think his is more naive.
We are kind of forgetting. I know we can't compare the two, and I know we've said Manchester United a much bigger platform, but he was competing for Sheffield United when they were favourites to go down. He went in first season. They finished 7th, so he does earn his dues when he played in that team. But no, it's a totally different kettle of fish at United.
And Chidera that says here, you lot forget that this is his first season. I remember David De Gea in his first season.
Yeah.
People keep saying that, but it's not comparable. De Gea was 18. He's like 24.
Yeah, but it's still his first. It's still his first season. But he is. But De Gea come from Atletico Madrid, still playing games at a young age because he was that good. Like it's the same in terms of he's a little bit older than when De Gea was number 1 at Man United. But in terms of just experiencing what that is, like you could be 28 if you ain't played at Man United in front of them fans like that at that level. You've never experienced it. It don't matter how old you are, in a sense, and he's still a young. And in keeper terms, he's still very young. He ain't even started yet, really, has he? He's only become a regular in the last 2 seasons, and that's at Sheffield United. He's never been number 1 before at top club. So I do see that. Another super chat here from Michael Vieira says, I agree with Jay this time. We lost because of the central midfield. Same happened in the cup, although we won. We lacked the composure. Yeah, that's true. We didn't play that good then as well. We lack the composure when we go ahead. If we get a top CDM, we would improve by levels. And Kavation says, pivot prevents the team from flowing when the opposition midfield starts to play ball. McFred can't cope. David De Gea gets hands at least 2 on 2 of those goals. Why replace a keeper with world-class ability who has like 5 years left? And the real G says, did Kev really just say he knows loads of City fans? I've seen a few, to be fair, all outside Stamford Bridge. Isn't that right, Kev? And I think we are there. We are
On the
there.
McFred thing, how far? I was thinking when one of you guys were talking about it, how far down the league do you think you'd go to find a team that would say, okay, yeah, we'd swap our centre midfield partnership for McTominay and Fred?
I think Burnley. Who have they got?
The fact that you're already down there and still having
well, in the top, top,
and then 10. You say, okay, City's 2 midfielders, Chelsea's 2 midfielders, Liverpool's midfielders. You'd get teams that would easily take that partnership, but no one would take ours. But whereas with Pogba and Bruno, any team would love them, but it's
Arsenal.
just them two. Would even Arsenal?
Thomas Partey and someone else. Yeah, they probably. No, they wouldn't. That's a very mad statement, you know. Who's taking it? Would West Brom then?
Wouldn't.
Romain Sawyer's out, Fred in, maybe. Yeah, West Brom. Yeah, something like that.
So
maybe that.
We're nearly down into the Championship trying to find a team.
Sheffield United got relegated, but they got Zanderberg and Fleck. Solid.
This is getting depressing.
Exactly. When you actually think about it,
Zanderberg and Fleck.
Not just one of them on their own, as a two.
No,
you have to go damn far down.
It's a very nuts thing what you're saying, you know.
We would never win a league title with them two in the pivot. It's
so mad. I need to get the league up and just look at the teams just to remind myself.
It was just one of you were talking about it, and I was like going through all the teams, and I'm like, oh
Brighton definitely wouldn't.
No, Basuma and
someone in the comments must be able to name a team.
Guys, listen, as Flex is looking up,
Newcastle.
As Flex is looking up that, if you don't mind, I want to read this out if you don't mind, right? There's a young lad UK, right? He goes by the name Kipsta United on Twitter, right? I'm going to read out his tweet if you don't mind, because he DM'd me today. It's very, very heartfelt. After what I thought was a week of progression in hospital, I've been hit with a very hard news for a 7-year-old to take. Broken heart emoji. I've been assessed and moved to urgent heart transplant list. Therefore, will live in hospital until procedure will happen. So we have a young lad in hospital, lads, waiting for a heart transplant that is watching us right now. So I just want to give him a shout out. Wow. You know, a young lad is 17, waiting for a heart transplant. And I got a message from him today, and it really got me. And I know you guys would indulge me and let me shout him out.
100%.
Thanks, guys.
100%. Big up, man. That's
17,
that's
like 17. Yeah,
that's crazy. What a brave kid.
Yeah, totally.
What a
Thanks, guys,
kid.
for that.
100%. No worries, man. And that's a nice touch, actually, Jay. To be honest. Sorry. Just quickly, Gavin Anthony said Crystal Palace would. Milivojevic and James McCarthy.
Milivojevic is solid.
Ask their fans.
Yeah. Guys, though, let's talk about the management of the next couple of games. Kev, how are you trying to see the next, couple of weeks in the lead up to, and fans are back as well for the Fulham game as well. Some.
First of all, just in response to the person before who said that Kev knows loads of City fans, I over-exaggerate slightly. I just checked my phone then. I know 2, right? And then... Again, moving into these games now, and Jay is right with the in-game management, team selection. The Leicester game, now Liverpool, he's gone probably, well, it is full strength, isn't it? And we've been done. We've been absolutely done. We're going into these next 2 games now, and yes, you can chop and change, you can do whatever. I wanted to see leading into that is results and the feel-good factor where you're actually going into a Europa League final. I want the team to pick itself, but on merit, not just, I'm such and such a person, I play in this position, of course I'm going to be selected. I don't want it on that. It should be purely on merit. The players over the last few games that have performed. And if you're going off this evening, I mean, Jesus Christ, you could look at that and go, this is bad. You could literally be looking into the reserves and saying, who can we dip into and play? Because I mean, I couldn't even praise anyone. I mean, even Fernandez had the armband, gets the goal and stuff. I mean, along the board, I would hate to even try and come up with player ratings for this evening, because I think it would be very, very embarrassing.
Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it for Ben?
I think we should do it. Yeah, let's rip this. Let's rip it up, guys.
It's near the end of the season. We've just got battered against Liverpool. We may as well have some fun. Jack, Dean Henderson, what would you give him out of 10?
6.
If you say 10.
Because, yeah,
6.
6. Oh, no,
Alex?
6. 6, yeah, because
6
I'm not going
good,
to go into
doesn't
what
it?
Jay said about the
6 average.
Yeah, I
Right,
would
six-
say it
6
starts
is
at
average.
5, I would
6 is
say.
average.
But, okay.
Come on,
I would
Jack.
have given him lower than 6.
Alex?
but I'd say
No, don't give him like a...
4, because average is just doing like the bare
Okay.
minimum, and he did less than the bare minimum. So
Okay. We'll do it quickly. Kev, what are you saying?
4.
Jay?
Can we give minus numbers?
Oh, Jay, man. You just
Positive
had to
numbers
give
only.
him my positive
Some
vibes.
0.
You can give 0 then. You can give 0.
One.
Okay.
1.
Wan-Bissaka, Kev.
6.
Alex?
I thought Wan-Bissaka was probably our best player, so I'll say 6 as well.
Jack?
Yeah, 6.
Jay?
I don't normally go with the crowd, but he was actually decent, so 6.
Lindelof, Alex?
4 again.
Quick. Go. Kev?
3.
Jay?
4.
Alex?
You mean Jack?
I mean Jack, sorry. What?
4.
4. Kev, Eric Bailly?
4, yeah.
4. Jay?
4, yeah.
I give him a 5. He put some good. He put in that killer tackle where he almost made the tackle in the first half, where the lad got kicked up in the air.
yeah.
That's worth a 5 for me.
Do you know, sorry, I was just going to touch on this. Did anyone actually think that was a penalty, or is like football going soft?
I do
On
agree
first,
with what Jamie Carragher said.
on first viewing, I thought it was a penalty.
He got the ball,
Yeah.
But slow
When you see
motion
it,
works now.
It was the
both
full
positively and negatively. The slow motion is what ruins.
So it was only Graham Souness and a load of silly scousers that thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a proper Yap Stam tackle.
Yeah.
Proper.
Yap Stam tackle. Yeah, proper.
Let's go into midfield quick. Fred, just unanimous shout out the numbers, everyone. Keep it
3.
moving. McTominay?
4, yeah, 4.
3.
Oh, 3.
Actually,
Bruno.
2 lower than Fred because he should have been sent off. So 2.
Bruno?
Should have been.
5.
Probably
Rashford.
5 for the goal, yeah.
Rashford.
Oh, he scored
It would have been a 4, but he scored. So 5.
5.
Jay, would you go with that? 5 for Rashford? 6?
Yeah, give him 5. He scored. He scored 5.
Cavani? Tough for him today.
Yeah.
Done more winning the ball back than anything else.
He didn't really.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, he didn't
Good
really
assist for the
deserve
goal.
that.
All good.
Yeah.
I give him a 6,
Pogba.
guys.
He was.
You give him a 6.
He was pressing the life out of that back 4. I give him a 6.
Yeah.
He never stopped moving, guys. Seriously, he never stopped
Could have
moving.
scored in the
I give
first
him a
half
6.
when he got the ball off
Yeah,
Alisson as well.
he should have scored. He should have scored.
Should have
Or
scored.
at least set Bruno. I think he could have done either. Just took his time a bit, and we would have
Got
scored.
that well as well.
Yeah, he did. Paul Pogba.
4.
So difficult.
4.
I'll say 5.
I'll probably give him a 4.
As the players, I gave a 4.
I go with
Okay.
Alex 5.
Well, okay, yeah, I think a 5. And who else? Mason Greenwood came on, had an impact.
6.
It's a 6. 6. Solid 6.
Matic came on, gave the ball away, and then we conceded. No, but I see why. We were chasing the game, though. We were chasing the game. There's gaps everywhere. It is one of them. Probably just give him a 4, 5, whatever.
And Flex, let's end and we go to Jay and ask for the manager's rating.
Oh.
I've got to go with what I said earlier on. The 2 tipping points at 1-0 and 3-2. His in-game management left a lot to be desired to get to 3.
I mean, the performance was that bad. You can't really argue for him not. But although they were a lot of individual errors that led to goals, though. probably as a manager, just in Solskjaer's defense a little bit, only in this area because he, didn't take off the right players and the team weren't there. But if you are sitting in the Audi seats at Old Trafford or wherever they are, and you're going, fucking hell, Fred, what am I supposed to do with that? Corner up, free kick just before half time, get in at 1-1. Pogba, don't mark your man properly. Right, guys, get in at half time, do this and that. We're second half FC, we can do this. Fred, Luke Shaw, madness, 3-1. Like what?
Yeah, trust.
To be fair to Ollie, there was a lot of individual errors where he must have thought, "What the fuck? What are these lot on?"
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But Flex. But on that though, at half time, Fred, get off. Donny, get on. Boom.
Yeah. To be fair though, the worst thing about that third goal is, and we don't really want to say it because he is the player of the season. The fact that Luke Shaw tries that thing, because really, when Fred does the madness, Lindelof actually gets it, I think, and then we're all right. We're fine. But Luke Shaw
Henderson
he had a poor game in general.
He doesn't. What's he thinking? Trying to run out of the back from there? It's just ludicrous. But anyway,
he's thinking, I'm Roberto Carlos. That's what he's thinking.
He's
it's our
fault.
fault.
Worked against every other team all season.
It's
Alex's fault. It's Alex's fault because he always says he's player of the season. You know what I mean?
He is
Bruno, mate. Everyone knows it's
Bruno.
Flex, man, Bruno.
I'm so done with this Shaw.
I'm changing my player of the year to Greenwood anyway. I knew he'd come good at the end. So.
You actually are. You love Greenwood. Listen. I don't think you got Jack with the Dean Henderson thing. You got KG with the Rashford thing / Wan-Bissaka. You've got Jay with the Cavani thing. You've got Kev with McCommony.
Kev drew the short straw.
And then you've got Alex, who will not say that anyone who comes with Greenwood, Alex is there. I love it. And then you got Ricky with Dan James and Matic and Mata, which I love. Everyone's got their favourites.
And Martial.
Marshall. Big up everyone, man. Funny show with a shit result. And roll on the next game, which is Tuesday. So yeah, we'll see you guys very, very soon. Thanks everyone for watching.